Okay, so a different kind of project. For those of you who do not know this, I am a electronics technician. Did a lot of R&D. R&D stands for research and development, meaning that I was one of the few guys in a certain company, which will remain nameless. We told the engineers, this ain't gonna work. You need to do this and then this with this new component, and it'll keep it from crashing. And the engineers would go, I never thought of that. Thank you. Okay, that was me. I was the guy debugging the junk that the engineers were making and turning it into wonderful gadgets for you. Okay, that was me. Anyways, that was a long time ago, though. I'm sure things have changed a lot. Back then, surface mount was the thing. Right now, that surface mount has gotten really, really small. And there's a lot of other components that are out that I probably wouldn't even know if I look at it. I don't know what that is. It's been a while. Okay, it's been about, let's see, my daughter's, she's out of college, so this was before my daughter was born, so we're talking 20-something years. Anyways, the button is not working. I mean, you can listen to the music and see if you can notice it. You see how it goes? Come on. So that speaker right there, well, actually this whole side kind of goes mute sometimes, and then all of a sudden it'll come back when I start messing with the button, doing the shake. So what I'm going to do is just going to open it up and see what the part number is for that. I'm going to order that and then just put this back and wait for the part to come in until I can fix it. And I've got my amplifier that's in the front. It's a legacy amp. It's white. It's two amplifiers in one, basically. And basically I blew up the half of the amp. But I mean it's like, oh god, this is when I had my Accord with a phantom top. It was burgundy. It was slammed. It was, man, I got pulled over in that car by highway patrol and police. I got to make, I lost count. Anyways, yeah, I heard it all as like, we saw you were weaving, so we decided to pull you over and see if you were drunk. That was the average excuse they gave me for pulling me over. And I don't drink alcohol. I've never liked alcohol. Anyways, different story. Who cares? I've had that legacy since I had that car. So I'm going to see if I can fix the legacy amp. I have a feeling I know what blew. I think a transistor blew on half of the amplifier. So the whole thing crowbars, meaning that it goes down. It doesn't power up. So I just remove it's got two fuses, one for one side of the amp and the other for the other side of the amp. So I pulled the one that is not working and the amp powered up. I was like, cool. So I hooked up all my speakers to the other side, and that's what I'm running right now. We're going to see if we can fix the other side of the amp. But first, I got to open it because I got to get the part number for this button. Okay, I'm going to try take it off without unhooking anything. That's probably a bad idea. Don't do what I do. Remember, I'm a professional. Okay, there it is. It's this one. Ugh. Okay, so is this bad boy right there. So I'm gonna see if I can find a part number on it, and maybe I'll get lucky. Okay, never mind. I fixed it. I just crimped those little crimping legs right there that, put everything together. So I just grabbed some needle nose and just went crimp, crimp, to the other side, crimp, or, from this side, crimp, crimp, and that fixed the potentiometer. It's a 10K potentiometer. So, see? Now that I'm going to get it closer to the speaker. See, I'm moving the potentiometer. It's not failing anymore. Fixed it, never mind. So I don't have to order it. Although I found it on Amazon though. $10 for a pack of 9, I think, or something like that. So I'll just put it on my basket and leave it there in case it starts to screw up. Okay, now I'm going to put this back together and go into the amp. I had to continue the theme of the rat's nest. It's back there over here. Therefore, my stereo installation looks like a rat's nest. Nothing shorted. The amplifier just blew up. Yeah. So, okay. So this is the side that blew up. This side still powers up. Yeah, like I said, it's a legacy. It's a legacy 6,000 watt or 600 watt. In reality, that's probably like, I don't know, maybe 150 watt total. It's not that powerful. It's just, I just use it for the mids and tweets because this is more than enough power to make you go deaf, and I don't want to go deaf. Therefore, I don't want to, put in a very high power amplifier there and then have to put in high power mids and tweets. I'm just gonna go deaf. It's like, why would I want to go deaf? No. So that's more than enough. Now it's probably like, well, it's 4 channels, 600 divided by, that's 150 per channel because it's 4 channels. So 150, in reality, it's probably more like 100 watts per channel. Reality, just reality. That's more or less what it is. That's more than enough to make you go deaf if you have the right speakers. Okay, and here we go. We got it all opened up. I already probed all of these. None of these transistors are blown. Both of them, they all match. You call that standardizing when you don't have an oscilloscope. You just grab a multimeter and you start probing the legs, and that'll give you a certain kind of a resistance. And all the ones that are exactly the same number, that should give you the fairly close identical numbers. So that's called standardizing. Just something I learned a long time ago. It saves you half a day. So let's see. So I couldn't find anything wrong with it. So now the fun part. I have to check all the traces, look for cracked solder joints and stuff like that. And just go over it. I see that there's a heat signature right here. This whole area has like a heat resistance going on right there, so I got to check that. And everything. Okay, this might take a while. All right, so we found the problem. The transistor itself, this transistor is actually not bad. It's actually perfectly fine. The solder, look, cracked, and this one was getting really hot. I mean, it cracked also, but it cracked under heat. You can tell. So did the middle one. It got hot because probably this one, or any combination of all 3 of them, was not really soldered correctly. So all I have to do is just solder these 3, and I'm good. This is an easy fix. Oh, love it when a plan comes together like this. Oh, easy fix. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out my soldering iron and fix it. Okay, so it is recommended that you basically remove all the solder from the affected area. Just cleaning my tip on the soldering iron. Okay, so here we go. I don't know if my soldering iron is hot enough to do this because this is a very large pad. Yeah, got it. No problem. Yeah, I saw the transistor just fall down. Like, it just went because the other ones were not supporting it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and solder the 2 that I removed because I don't want it to fall anymore. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's interesting. There we go. All right. Go to the next one. Perfect. Now we're gonna remove the solder from the 3rd leg. I lucked out on this one. Usually you need an oscilloscope for this. And more often than not, though, amplifiers is usually a cracked solder joint on one of the transistors, a blown trace, but the actual components are perfectly fine. You just have to, you know, find it and fix it. All right, I think that's it. Let me grab my super glasses and see if we are there. Would you look at that? We are there. Okay, let me double check all the other traces. Oh, there's one right there. This one. That one right there. He looks too suspicioso. That one I'm just gonna go ahead and solder it. Just to add new solder. Usually the flux fixes any errors that the solder might have. Okay, let me zoom out. What happened? Okay, there we go. There we go. Zooming out. So I'm just checking everything. All the traces. All the solder joints. Places I might want to hit again because the solder just looks very suspicious. You know, it just looks like it's been wrinkled. That's a sure sign of overheating or too much heat to that component, and the solder just weathered away until it finally cracked and poof. Oh, this one looks partially poofed. Partially poofed. All right, putting it back together. We're good. Okay, I was looking at the review of the camera, and the one that we repaired looked from the top like there was missing solder right there on this side, but it's just the reflection and stuff. It just looked like there wasn't any solder there. Just wanted to show you there is solder there. It's nice and volcano-y looking, so it's perfect. We have all three of them fixed. I'm gonna put this thing back the way it goes. Basically, it just goes like this. It just goes on like that. Got that out of the way. Oops. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. Like yay. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all those little securing things, making sure that nothing shorts out, because they have like a little plastic or rubber mat on the bottom of the transistors so that they don't short out with the steel, or the aluminum, sorry, and basically crowbar your whole amplifier or blow it up in that case. I'm gonna go ahead and secure it. Everything's tight, nice and straight. Looks like nobody touched it. So we're gonna go ahead and connect this guy back. Okay, and then this right here. So I'm gonna add a tie thing right here. Trying to do it with one hand, it's not that easy, but not impossible. Okay. So, all right. So I'm gonna put the top back on and we're gonna power it up. Okay, just before I cover it up, I just wanted to show you the components one more time. This amplifier is not very impressive on the inside. Not very impressive. It weighs a ton, but what weighs is the aluminum. But basically, this is like mediocre amplifier. It's not a really sad amplifier like a Boss or a Pyramid from back in the day. Legacy, yeah, Legacy is kind of a mediocre amp from back in the day. It was okay. It wasn't, you know, you're not gonna rumble anywhere really with this amplifier. So, but the power caps are 2200 farads at 50 volts. These blue ones, they're tiny. They usually, when you have a good amplifier, they're on the low side. It's like 3200 instead of 2200 microfarads. These are just 2200 at 25 volts. These orange ones, they're okay. This is not okay. And then these are too small. These transformers are just too small. They're tiny. So, you know, and then usually, okay, like this is half an amp this way, half an amp the other way. Okay, so usually they on the power side, where this is what makes the boom, right? This is what's coming in right here for the thing. Then it sends the signal over here, and then it really goes boom, and it uses the power from here to really go boom. But usually they have, this one has 4 on that side and 4 on this side. But usually there's 6, total of 6 of these. 6 to really make, to really rumble, but it would need bigger caps. It's a mediocre amp, but like I said, I'm only using it for the mids and the tweeters. Bass, I don't think it can handle doing bass. It's just not gonna move your subwoofers. So this is the side we were using when we started the project. So I moved my RCAs to this side, and now we go to the speaker side, which is this side. Same thing, I marked it just so that I know that this is the blown up side. And here's our speakers, negative. Let's see what happens. Wait, it's the other way. It's the other way around, fool. Can you hear that? That's the name of the song. Can you hear that? Anyways, I'm gonna disconnect it. See? So let me test this other side right here. Yep. There you go. She's working! It was blown up. See? These are the sides that we were running. That's why the screws are loose. And these are nice and tight because they were not being used. So now, she's back.
Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
My whole amplifier is alive. It's a piece of shit, I know. But it's been through a lot with me, in my 20s when I was 20 years old. I had that. And but for mids and tweets. Then I had like the Gravity, Volt, what was it, Kickers, Alpha Sonic. I think those were the amplifiers that really kick ass. Anyways, back in the day, we're talking Class AB amplifiers, okay? Right now, the one that's in the back, if you guys saw my video, we have a Class D amplifier. It's pushing 1200 watts, some 12, what do you call it? Rockville K9s, 12 inch, a pair, and fuck, this thing booms. So, anyways, I'm gonna finish all this crap and button it up. Okay, so he's done. All right, so we're done. Got my amplifier and my preamp repaired. Like I said, I used to be a technician. That was probably over 20 years ago. And then trucking came out of left field. It all just worked out. I've been trucking for 18 years. So audio is sacred to me, okay? If it doesn't boom, not that I have to like blow your ears off or anything like that, but it has to be perfectly balanced, okay? Too much tweeter, too much mids, and that will kill your hearing, okay? You'll go deaf, okay? This is why drummers go deaf, because drum beats are usually above, the ones that damage your ear are usually above 150 hertz. So they will screw up your ears. Bass songs, instrumentals, those things, bass is usually hitting, anywhere between 20 hertz and 60 hertz. That doesn't hurt your ears. So you can pump it up. Pump up the jam, Bass boom bottom. I'm into that, and I always will be into that. I'll be 90, and I'll still be booming. Yes, I will. Okay, so this is the end of the video. I just wanted to say thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, because that helps out the channel. Hit like. That also helps the channel. Trying to do projects, but projects require money. No money, no projects. So I have to do some other stuff. Like this stuff that I showed you about the fuel bowls on these IDFs, that is mind-blowing. Okay, I am the first individual on this planet that has figured out how to make these things reliable. We've already had several individuals try this, and the results are mind-blowing to them. It's that good, okay? Just make sure you know what you're doing, okay? Because this does require a little bit of skill, know-how, make sure your circuits are clean and stuff, your idle circuits are clean. And you should have the same result. Okay, now, so please, just, hit like, and I'll try to bring more stuff that is mind-blowing to you. I usually am the type of person that when I focus on something, I will completely decrypt that whatever something is, okay? In this case, is the IDS. I freaking decrypted, and just mind-blowing, okay? It's just stuff that nobody has never done. They've never done this. This is my neighbor with a loud muffler. I have a loud muffler. I don't give a shit. Anyways, so please subscribe, hit like. It helps me out so we can bring you more content like this. Adiós muchachos, adiós muchachas.